He's ready for the fight, and he keeps it right at night. Wait till you hear what Mark Levin has at 8.
The politicization of this issue has undermined the credibility of so many of these institutions. If you're vaccinated and somebody else is not vaccinated, I don't quite understand what the issue is. The government, television hosts, they're not to be trusted. You trust your own physician.
The great one, Mark Levin, tonight at 8 on Southwest Florida's 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
When was the last time you checked in on your insurance? Give CIG a chance to review your current coverage and find you better rates. Hi, this is Brian Chapman at Chapman Insurance Group. My team and I are dedicated to finding you the best suited coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Qualified agents are standing by. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
Before you go to bed at night, Dan Bongino makes sure you hear things right.
Folks, we have a genuine constitutional crisis going on right now, and it gives me no pleasure to tell you that. But Donald Trump's refusal to back down to the deep state swamp forced the deep state swamp to do things that are unconstitutional.
End your night the right way with Dan Bongino. Tonight from 10 to 1 on the only one for Southwest Florida's best talk. 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along. Getting it right all day and all night. 92.5 WFSX Estero, Fox News.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The two are gathering this hour on President Biden's first full day of his overseas trip. Fox's Simon Owen is live in Rome.
And Dave, the president's motorcade just rolled up to the Vatican. President Biden and Pope Francis will discuss COVID-19, climate change and poverty, according to the White House. President Biden is America's first Catholic president since John F. Kennedy, and this is his first meeting with the head of the Catholic Church since taking office. It's the start of a 5-day trip to Europe, with the president also set to attend a G20 summit here in Rome this weekend and a global climate change conference in the UK. Dave?
Simon, before he left, the president hailed a framework agreement among Democrats on a social spending plan.
Here's how the framework looks. $1.75 trillion with $555 billion for climate investments, billions for 2 years of free preschool, and 1 year extension of the child tax credit. However, no paid family or medical leave and no deal to lower prescription drug prices.
Fox's Lauren Blanchard, the president says,
no one got everything they wanted, including me. But that's what compromise is.
Though some House progressives aren't ready to compromise.
We intend to vote for both bills when the Build Back Better Act is ready.
Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal wants more than a framework on spending and tax hikes. All Republicans oppose, so progressives keep holding up a vote on the bipartisan infrastructure plan. In Virginia's governor's race,
the latest Fox News poll now has Republican Glenn Youngkin ahead of the Democrat Terry McAuliffe by 8 points among likely voters. Thursday night, Youngkin was excited by the results.
You know what that is? That's Virginians coming together.
McAuliffe expressed confidence, though, saying he doubted independents could go for Youngkin, and again linked him to former President Trump.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The deadlines today for New York City municipal workers to get a COVID vaccine or be put on unpaid leave. America's listening to Fox News.
This is 92.5 WFSX Estero, Fox News. Right all along. On the radio, on your smart speaker, and online at rightallalong.net.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Good Friday morning, heading out through Collier County in the Golden Gate Estates, Orange Tree area. We have a crash on Immokalee Road at Randall Boulevard, causing some eastbound delays. Speeds going down to about 25 miles an hour at that area right near Wilson Boulevard toward Randall in the eastbound direction. Possible injuries in that crash. So take it slow nearby. Looking good if you're heading along 75 and 41. No problems or construction zones blocking anything off early on this morning on the interstate especially. Our area bridges running up to speed, but it is windy out there and slick with the overnight and yesterday's rain that we've been dealing with. So just take it slow. Give yourself plenty of extra time. Lee County, we do have a disabled vehicle on Treeline Avenue near Bavaria Road. That's just north of the intersection of Daniels Parkway. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Friday. Behind yesterday's cold front, we'll start to feel some less humid air moving for today, but we still will remain windy. Winds will be out of the west at 15 to 25 miles per hour with some wind gusts of up to and over 30 miles per hour at times. Temperatures topping off at 84 degrees for today. We will be looking at a few showers passing through quickly as we head into this afternoon and into this upcoming evening. Breezy weather persists as we enter your Saturday. Saturday morning, waking up to a low of 68 degrees with more isolated rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Highs will be in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Sunday for trick-or-treating, looking dry, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 81. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Whether you're commuting to the office or driving to the beach, always stay to the right with 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
True relief for back and neck pain. Did you play golf or tennis today and wish that you didn't have to deal with the back or neck pain? Do you feel hesitant to swing all the way through or run across the court because of pain? People just assume they have to live with it or just get epidurals. They are wrong. People look at it from the wrong perspective. Most people only think about treating the symptoms and not the cause. At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, we treat the cause using non-surgical spinal decompression. Now available for anyone, not just the injured or professional athletes. Spinal decompression is a safe, non-surgical treatment that takes pressure off the nerves and discs, increasing blood circulation, allowing the back to heal. Safe, long-lasting results for sciatica, stenosis, scoliosis, herniated discs, or even failed back surgery. Don't suffer. Call my Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation. Johnson Spinal Care, 596 Back, 596 BACK. That's 596-2225.
Stop. Don't purchase any diamonds, jewelry, or engagement rings until you come to Duncan's Diamonds. We are not your typical jewelry store. Here are a few reasons. Family owned. Stuart Duncan and his family have been involved in the wholesale diamond business for nearly a century. No middleman. We are direct diamond importers, offering prices 30 to 40% lower than the rest, passing all those savings to you. No pressure. We are not paid on commission. We are here to help you even if you do not purchase from us, and to make sure you are happy. The largest selection of diamonds and jewelry, access to millions of jewelry styles, and that is up to 30 times what you find in an ordinary jewelry store. Free services, like clean and check whether you purchased from us or not. Don't take our word from a radio ad. Visit Duncan's Diamonds. We will prove we will not be undersold anywhere, anytime, by anybody. Duncan's Diamonds.
US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Naples at Mercado.
You finally reached your savings goal, but how much will you really spend in retirement? Basic question, but more than 1/3 of retirees underestimated their spending. And you know taxes will impact what you've set aside. You're smart enough to know you don't have all the answers. You're also smart enough to know where to get help. It's time to put things in order with a fee-only fiduciary. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com. One team, one plan, one fee. Annex Wealth Management.
Hey, Sean Hannity here for DeVoe Cadillac. Now, you all know Cadillac is synonymous with quality. In fact, it has been the icon of American-made luxury vehicles for over 100 years. Now, DeVoe Cadillac has been in business for over 50 of those years. Now, they serve Southwest Florida as a family-owned and operated business. They've done it the whole time. The DeVoe family has embraced the same commitment to quality that Cadillac represents. Listen, I could drive whatever I like, and guess what? I choose Cadillac again and again and again because I love my Escalade. I really enjoy the comfort, I enjoy the safety, the style, and that's why, let's see, I've already purchased over 10 Cadillacs in my life, and my go-to dealer in Southwest Florida is DeVoe Cadillac. Now, I know they're going to take great care of you and your new Cadillac with expert service from the people who know it best. Get to know our friends at DeVoe Cadillac, your Cadillac dealer right here in Naples.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I'm glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching and subscribing to the podcast. Anytime you want to go to the website, you'll see the podcast. Well, just type Drew Steele into your favorite search engine,
And there you go. You'll find us. It is Jake Day. It is the day that Jake, the millennial, officially checks out. He's usually checked out throughout the week, but now it is official. He's officially checked out today, which is a really nice thing. So there you go. He is dressed today as Shaggy from, if you know who Shaggy is, Shaggy from, not Shaggy the singer, but Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. So you are Shaggy today. You
Zoink Scoob.
You look, it's a perfect rendition. He's getting into the Halloween spirit. See what I did there? The Halloween spirit, get spirit Halloween. Isn't that like a, no, it's not really a thing. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, getting into everybody around. I think you're going to start seeing people walking. If you're watching the stream at drewsteele.com. Oh, I didn't set that up. That's not set up. All right. Yeah, it is. If you go to drewsteele.com, you will see that there's going to be people behind me walking around, right? Isn't the newsroom behind me all, everybody's all dressed up? They're all looking like they're ready for the day?
Yeah, I've seen Hugh Hefner and hot dog.
You've seen Hugh Hefner and a hot dog. Hey, everybody. We'll be here all week. That's did you plan it that way? Sorry, that went to a...
really what I saw.
Yeah, it's really, really strange. All right, so we have that going on. So another reason why you should be watching, not just listening to this program, but watching, because you never know what you'll see. Guarantees there. What else? Hey, if you are an illegal that came to the United States illegally, the word illegal. I know some people like to say undocumented. I don't. If you're an illegal, the government has cash for you. Are you ready for this, Jake? Did you hear this headline? I can tell that Jake is getting ready for this because he heard cash and he wants to know what this is all about. What if I were to tell you, Jake, and we'll get into this story in detail in just a second, that yes, you too, as someone who came to this country illegally, have the opportunity now to collect a check per person of, you ready for this? $450,000 per person. That is not a joke. No, that's right. We are thinking about it. The Biden administration. I'm sorry, not we, but the administration is thinking about this seriously. No, Jake's trying to figure out how to now leave the country and come into the country illegally so he can cash in. The Biden administration is in talks right now to offer approximately $450,000 to any illegal that was separated from their family at the border under the previous administration's zero-tolerance policy that took place in 2018. HHS and the Department of Justice, now they're considering payments that could be up to $1 million a family. And the final number, this according to the Wall Street Journal, the final number could actually shift. So it may not even be that much. So don't panic. Don't worry. It's not like that. Most of the families that crossed the border illegally from Mexico to seek asylum in the U.S. Included one parent and one child. That's all it is. So if you came here with a child, you are going to be paid now, possibly up to $1 million per couple, $450,000 per person, a total payout that could be more than $1 billion. Anybody worried about that? Anybody think that that's a good thing? Anybody? Look at Jake. Jake is trying to figure out. No, I'm not lying. This isn't comedy here, everybody. This isn't a joke. The ACLU said that there's several thousand individuals that were separated under this policy. And I'll bet you any amount of money. And I know, listen, the government's really good at this, everybody, so don't panic. The government's really good at keeping track of people. I'm sorry, I can't even say that with a straight face. Yeah, they have no idea. So there's going to be all kinds of people that are going to claim that they are people that were held this way. There you go. So we're not going to know how many people. We'll start it off as thousands, and who knows how many they'll be afterwards. Former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf slammed the move, saying there's no limits to what this administration can do if you're going to implement a policy like this and keep it going, and then come up with ideas like, hey, your kids were separated from you. Here's a news flash. I don't know if this is a breaking news flash. I guess it's a
breaking news. A bombshell.
No, this isn't really that kind of flash. But let me just say something that might upset some of you, but it is the reality. They're going back to the separation of kids. And I'm not talking about the child in cages thing, because everybody says, well, they started talking about Trump in 2018, the kids in cages. Well, that was Obama that did that. Can I just tell you, as a policy, separating the kids from the adults as a policy was not a bad policy, everybody. Think about it. You have illegals crossing the border. You have child smuggling. You have human smuggling that is happening even as we speak at the border. You don't know if that child is the child of the person who claims to be. You can't keep them together. You've got to separate them. It's logical because you don't know yet. Until you know for sure, you can't put that child in danger. And the whole child in cages thing, you know how that played out. It was like when there was a cage, quote unquote, when they were in a fenced area and Barack Obama did it, everything was fine. It's just that, I know. But, you know, when Trump did it, of course, it was, you get the idea. But the point of the matter is how does this end? How does it end where you have the Democrats, the Marxists, the communists, the progressives, the party of Joe Biden? How do you stop this? This spending that keeps happening, it's just, they can't get enough. It just keeps going and going and going. When does it end? Well, clearly it ends when there's different leadership and holding people accountable. And that's going to happen eventually. But this is not a winning strategy. I mean, do you feel like this is a winning strategy? I mean, if you're a Democrat, are you feeling good about this? Do you like the idea that your tax dollars, not Republicans' tax dollars, but your tax dollars, it's everybody's, that you are going to pay for people entering this country illegally and then being separated at the border, and then claims that because litigation moved forward against the United States, that this administration is going to look and say, you know what? This is the responsible thing to... No. They're not looking at this as the responsible thing to do. They're not looking at this as, hey, let's settle a case. You know what this is? It's paying people off, is it not? But the kind of money that they're talking about, $450,000? Oh, it's outrageous. I mean, all you need now is some kind of really stupid, cheesy commercial from the DOJ to try to build this up in some way, shape, or form. I mean, that's where you would get into the ridiculous.
I'm Merrick Garland, the Attorney General. Did you sneak into this country illegally, get caught, and get separated from your family? You may be entitled to a large cash settlement. That's right, a large cash settlement from the United States taxpayers. As much as $1 million for your family. If you broke the law, broke into the country, got caught and got separated, you may have hit the jackpot. Call my office at the DOJ. Ask for Merrick. 202-514-2000. 202-514-2000. That's the DOJ, and get your large cash settlement today.
I'm not really sure that was actually Merrick. 239-479-5592. Just saying, it doesn't stop there. The Justice Department talked about a settlement reached due to a fact of a clerical error, reportedly. And now you have a settlement reached between the U.S. Justice Department and the victims and families of a 2015 church shooting in South Carolina. The Justice Department is going to pay $88 million, which includes $63 million for the families of the 9 people killed and $25 million for 5 survivors who were inside the church at the time of the shooting due to clerical errors that were reported. Resolves claims by 14 plaintiffs arising out of the shooting. That the FBI was negligent when it failed to prohibit the sale of a gun by a licensed firearms dealer to the shooter, a self-proclaimed white supremacist who wanted to start a quote-unquote race war and specifically target the 200-year-old historically African-American congregation. Do you see where we're going? Not to say that was not horrific, the mass shooting at the AME church. Not to say that it wasn't. Of course it was. But Do you see how this is starting to play out now? Claims against the Justice Department and then payments being made and litigation. And how people are concerned how this all now, because of precedent, whether it's this settlement and the kind of money we're talking about, or whether it is what's going on at our southern border, that sooner or later something has to break. And the concern is that who's going to stop the levee from breaking? That was a song, right? When the levee breaks. You know, who was that? Who is When the Levee Breaks? Who saw
Led Zeppelin.
That's right. Good for you. How did you know that this early in the morning on a Friday?
Good question.
It's a great question. Maybe it's because of your Shaggy outfit today for Halloween.
Yeah, the long hair might have just,
Yeah, I think it made you more
connected.
Not connected. Connected is not
Stronger
something I
Wi-Fi
think
signal
of.
for the metaverse.
Yeah. Oh, the metaverse. Hey, speaking of metaverse, I'm glad you brought that up. That's right. Mark Zuckerberg is not a real human being. Nobody can prove until I can actually see red blood running from his veins and something. Not that you would want to see that. That's pretty disgusting. But until I can see an X-ray of his innards, I don't believe that man is actually human. I think he's a humanoid. I think he's come down from some alien planet, someplace far away. And I think that Facebook is now going to change its name to Meta. And what does this even mean, changing to Meta? Like, why would Facebook even do this? And what kind of creepy future are we looking at? Yeah, it's not good. So we're going to get to that coming up. Also, hey, here's a dumb question. Maybe it is or isn't. I mean, many people are keeping an eye on Virginia and the governor's race. Now, why would we care about that here in Southwest Florida? We care about that here in Southwest Florida and the state of Florida, and certainly in the country, because as Virginia goes in the next couple of days and the election next week on Tuesday, as the election goes in Virginia, so may go the country in 22, and how we might see things happen, like the fact that if the Democrat, Terry McAuliffe, loses and loses big, or bigly, as the case might be, if he loses, then there is a really good opportunity that in itself would put a halt to anything that could possibly coming our way with this White House and any kind of policies like this reconciliation bill or anything else moving forward, because there will not be an appetite in the country if we start to see a place like Virginia that is, what is it, bluish, purplish blue, or all of a sudden rejecting the liberal, Marxist, communist, Democrat policies there of Terry McAuliffe and the party. Like, your kids are not yours. They're ours. They're wards of the state. And when it comes to their education, yes, sit back and shut up. As a matter of fact, don't speak to us. Don't even look at us. If you're at a school board meeting, don't even show up. Don't come, because you're a domestic terrorist and you have nothing to do with the child's education. We're the ones that'll handle this. That thinking like that will be rejected on election day. That the socialist ideology of the day will be rejected, and progressives won't have any place to go, because there will not be an appetite for those that are in the majority, and a slim one at that, in the House. So you see how this plays out. You've got 5 votes in the House. That's all Nancy Pelosi has. That's all Democrats have. That's all they have when it comes to reconciliation, infrastructure, all of it, right? So the idea that there are moderate, you call them moderate Democrats, centrist Democrats. Okay, let's just say less communist than the rest of the party. How about that? That you have some in very weak districts for them who are going to look and go, yeah, I'm not really sure I want to push what they've been pushing if they can't even win the state of Virginia. That's why it is consequential, and that's why we have to continue to keep an eye on it. And I brought it up because, there in the state, they talk about how they don't teach CRT. We don't teach CRT. There's no CRT being taught in our schools. Southwest Florida, we don't teach CRT. Are you kidding? Well, then here's a dumb question. Why did the governor right now, Governor Northam in Virginia, give Ibram X. Kendi a keynote speech as Terry McAuliffe is dismissing concerns about CRT? Like, why would you be the one promoter of anti-racism? This idea, quote unquote, which is not, it's full-on racism by those that are pushing critical race theory. Why would you give that person a keynote spot in a speech if the things that they espouse and talk about are things that aren't happening? It's very strange. It's not really strange. It's just hypocritical, and it's something that they're supposed to put over your eyes so you don't see. You know, those kind of things like CRT, that it doesn't exist. If you hear the words diversity, equity, and inclusion in your schools, in your businesses, that is critical race theory. If you have somebody who's the head of equity at your business, that's it. All right, so when we come back, we'll talk about this. The governor had a few things to say about vaccine mandates in the state. No, we're not doing it here. And we'll get to some of Joe Biden's audio from yesterday, if you didn't get a chance to hear it, about the Build Back Better plan and the framework. That is framework, but it's not framework. Well, we're going to hold a vote, but we're not going to hold a vote. We're going to build back better, but we're not sure if we're building back betterly. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. So we'll just move on. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
92.5, Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Island Air. High-quality AC repair and installation. Online at islandairfl.com. Online at islandairefl.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Apple predicts a stark holiday season as supply chain woes slow production and sales. Supply chain problems also affecting the World Series. The team's jerseys are missing that usual World Series patch on their sleeves. Uniwatch.com reports MLB could not get enough patches for fans' jerseys, so it decided to leave them off the players' shirts as well. Facebook changes its name to Meta to signify its focus on the virtual reality space known as the Metaverse. It'll keep the Facebook name while the parent company gets the new moniker and a new stock ticker beginning December 1st. And the S&P 500 and NASDAQ close at record highs on strong corporate earnings. The Dow rose 239 points, just missing a record. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now, there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash-out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Manufactured in the USA, Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Built to last forever. Call today for a free consultation. Discounts for all military and first responders. Also, if you support Biden, don't blink and call us. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
Do you believe it? Holidays are around the corner. Well, now is the time to get those beautiful floors that you've always wanted. Hey, it's Trey Randall for Britt's Carpet Outlet. Imagine that brand new luxury vinyl plank floor in your dining room this Thanksgiving or surrounding your tree this Christmas. If your kid or grandkid drops a plate full of cranberry sauce, don't even sweat it. If your cat breaks some ornaments off the tree, you're not going to be picking it up off of the carpet anymore. Plus, it's waterproof, so spills or pet accidents do no damage whatsoever. And cleanup is super easy. It's as easy as a damp paper towel. Now, Britt's offers luxury vinyl plank in literally hundreds of colors and styles to match any decor. To get the perfect match, just bring a scrap of fabric or slipcover to Britt's Carpet Outlet in Fort Myers or Cape Coral. Britt's always features great low prices you can compare and see for yourself. Shop Britt's Carpet Outlet early for the holidays and be sure to tell them that Trey Radel sent you.
Fox News listeners, Saturday morning is the perfect time to talk boats and water fun in Southwest Florida. This is Adam Botana again from Baywater Sousa Boat Club. Join us every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 for the Baywater Boat Club Hour. We talk boats, fishing, boating hotspots, water quality, on top of Jake the Millennial and I just having fun on the radio. And if you don't have a boat, Baywater Sousa Boat Club has got you covered. Just call me, Adam, at 239-495-0455.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list, and in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Hey, it's Drew Steele talking about my friends at Amco of Bonita Springs, 992-2626. That's 992-2626. Whatever is going on with your vehicle, they will fix it and fix it right. They are a great conservative business. And I can tell you they have a great local reputation for doing good work. And they also have an awesome customer base. It's been established over the past 13 years. So give them a call at 239-992-2626 so you can arrange to meet with them. Let them know you heard about it right here on 92.5 Fox News and Drew Steele. By the way, talk about great conservatives. They've built the American Spirit Movement, a place where conservative consumers and businesses can connect in 5 critical areas. You know, you've got your vote, but you also have your wallet, the cash register, supporting conservative businesses. So go to the American Spirit Marketplace. You can keep conservative dollars in conservative pockets. Block by block, city by city, states by state. We're going to build this up. Go to the American Spirit Movement website at americanspiritmovement.com. It's more than a conservative movement. It's a conservative awakening.
Need some inspiration? Don't look left. Look right. Here. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. President Biden at the Vatican meets with Pope Francis for the 4th time, the first as president. Fox's Simon Owen.
President Biden's meeting with Pope Francis here comes with a subplot. U.S. bishops are debating next month whether politicians who support abortion rights, like the president, should be denied communion. The White House says the leaders will discuss COVID-19, climate change, and caring for the poor. President Biden is only the 2nd Catholic president in U.S. history.
The other was President Kennedy. Back home, a framework for the Democrats' big spending bill does not mean a deal is done.
The House was supposed to vote on a separate $1 trillion infrastructure package, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi pulled the plug on that as progressives said they'd only vote for it if they got assurances that moderates would support President Biden's larger social spending plan.
Fox's Jill Nato. America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News Traffic.
Good Friday morning. We have a crash causing westbound backups along Daniels Parkway in Fort Myers, right at Jetport Commerce Parkway. Near Treeline Avenue, approaching I-75 is where you'll see those westbound delays because of the crash with injuries. Also dealing with a crash on Immokalee Road and 41 in North Naples. Another down Immokalee at Randall Boulevard, causing some eastbound backups off Wilson Boulevard. Check out some delays along 75 heading through the Corkscrew Road exit right now and approaching Bonita Beach Road southbound. Just a little bit in the way of volume building up out there. And the roads are slick, so just take it slow. Give yourself plenty of extra time on the morning commute. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Friday. Behind yesterday's cold front, we'll start to feel some less humid air moving for today, but we still will remain windy. Winds will be out of the west at 15 to 25 miles per hour with some wind gusts of up to and over 30 miles per hour at times. Temperatures topping off at 84 degrees for today. We will be looking at a few showers passing through quickly as we head into this afternoon and into this upcoming evening. Breezy weather persists as we head into your Saturday. Saturday morning, waking up to a low of 68 degrees with more isolated rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Highs will be in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Sunday for trick-or-treating, looking dry, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 81. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
There's a reason they call tasteless, stale food leftovers. Feed your brain the right way. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. You know, when I was a kid, you could drive a go-kart down Cypress Lake Drive and never pass a car. Now, I can't even see the sidewalk from the traffic. Southwest Florida has really grown, and the choice for air conditioning contractors has grown with it. When you're looking for a contractor, find a local family-owned business with the owner as the license holder. Use only companies with NATE certified mechanics, the only true certification in this business. Use families that invest locally and not conglomerates owned by some foreign international company. In other words, use Kobe Cooling. Call us at 239-482-1542. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in this business since 1949, locally owned and operated.
Look and feel your best with Dr. Patrick Flaherty, hosted by me, Gina Birch. Want to hear the latest from an expert? Tune in Saturday at 10 a.m. and hear all the latest innovations in non-surgical, surgical, and lifestyle ideas to help you look and feel your best. Dr. Patrick Flaherty is known for his faces, the fabulous Azul Spa, and now you get your hour with this doctor every Saturday at 10 a.m. Dr. Patrick Flaherty's show is Look and Feel Your Best, hosted by me, Gina Birch. Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. and hear how to look and feel your best.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Health insurance. We all hate it, but we have to have it. Hey, Southwest Florida, it's Tyler McCluskey here, and as an insurance executive for the past 10 years, I now host a show every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on 92.5 Fox News. I explain everything you need to know about the health insurance industry and show you all how to save money. For more information, tune in this Saturday at 11 or call now for a free quote at 239-633-3140 or online at tylermccluskey.com.
Trey Randall, your host of The Drive here. Very excited to tell you about my buddy, realtor and all-around great guy, Ralph Nudie. So Ralph has 25-plus years of experience in real estate. Here's the deal, though. Realtors in this market especially often sit back and wait for people to come to them. Ralph Nudie is different. You know, I've often shared with you my knowledge and love of branding and marketing, and I'm telling you right now, you will not find another realtor in the entire state that does what he does. You have to check out his website, videos, his ads. The guy gets it. So that's Ralph professionally. But let me tell you about him personally. There's a reason that he's here on 92.5 Fox News on The Drive with us. That's because Ralph is a lot like us. He shares our values. And again, just a great guy. So put Ralph's 25-plus years of experience to work for you. Call him today.
Daybreak with Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta.
No. Well, there he is. There's the computer, the humanoid, the not human being known as Mark Zuckerberg. There's just something weird about him. What is it? So they're changing Facebook now to Meta. Meta is going to be the new thing, right? So isn't this exciting? Everybody excited about it?
Our mission remains the same. It's still about bringing people together.
I thought your mission was all about trying to help Democrats get elected in 2020. I'm sorry, that was just. Did I say that out loud? No, that wasn't a joke. That's serious. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's real. That's exactly what they were doing. So no, let him go. Not a joke. No, let him go on. What was he saying? He's saying
our apps and their brands.
Yeah.
They're not changing either.
Oh, okay.
And we are still the company that designs technology around people.
Okay, is that what you do? Okay, so I guess the question is then why are you doing it? Then why? It's almost as I mean it's weird. It's kind of like it's almost as if Mark Zuckerberg is changing the name of Facebook because not only is it about rebranding and Facebook has now become a damaged brand, but it's almost also about what could happen litigiously if there was some legal issues with Facebook. You know, when it comes to things like all the money that was going to certain people in certain places to help with elections. You know, good quality help. With issues of the election and election integrity and maybe some other things like who they're taking off the platform and who they get to keep on the platform and who they get to push and what they don't push. Okay, anyway, so the point is that nothing to see here. Everything is fine. We're entering this new place of the Matrix. I don't want to go to the Matrix. And here's the one thing that I don't get, Jake, and maybe you can help me with this. What? Okay, so here you go. I'm just trying to figure this out. So here's Zuckerberg explaining the excitement that is what will be this metaverse. Okay, so here you go.
So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all.
What is that?
Connecting with people.
Okay, so all of a sudden he walks into what becomes a virtual world, right? It's virtual.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually. It has things that are only possible virtually. And it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
See, here's what I'm thinking. This is where I have a problem. See, so when he says
connecting with people,
it's about connecting with people. And we're going to enter this virtual world so that we can connect with people. I'm just thinking that there's another way that you can actually do this. You can go and connect with people physically. Stop putting the glasses on. I don't need glasses and to go into a virtual universe to hook up with people that look like aliens. By the way, if you see the video, it's not like these people look like people. They look like some kind of cosplay. It's like they're dressing up as their favorite aliens. It's like one guy looks like a giant alien, the other one is floating, but it's not a real face. It's a cartoon face. And what? Here's an idea. Get back to connection. Get off your phones and get off your screens and start seeing people again physically. You know, I was talking about. Am I missing something, Jake? I'm getting a little upset about this, but you're looking like this is the coolest thing since sliced bread, and I should be enjoying the sliced bread because who knows? All right, so go ahead. As Jake the Millennial, let me give you a millennial. Here's a millennial moment. Here you go, Jake the Millennial. Go. Give me your thoughts on the metaverse. Go.
It is very cringy and corny that this man is trying to create something that is nearly impossible, all because he had tarnished his brand.
That's pretty wise counsel right there. By the way, do you have that video? You don't have the audio of him from the past, do you? This is why Jake is convinced that he's not human. Because you have this, right? So go ahead. Oh, it's right there? All right, go ahead, play it.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
Okay, so was that like from some kind of TED Talk or something that he admitted that he's not human?
He's an alien.
Okay.
Or a robot. Probably a robot.
We're not sure. Okay, so he's keeping that out there because it's kind of funny, and he does. When you look at him, you're like, there's something about your look that I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it's really weird. Or he's playing into that, or he actually is from the future, past, something or other. But anyway, here's the thing. Here's what I'll do. Let's go to the phones and get your thoughts. Steve's in Michigan. And in Michigan, everybody knows that if you're in Michigan, the one thing you're thinking about is the metaverse. That's what you care about. You don't care about physical connection and contact. You really care about putting on glasses and getting into an AI. I don't know, Steve. Help me out.
All right. Well, he's spending millions of dollars for this rebranding, and we can really piss him off because I think what we need to do is all refer to Meta as make everything Trump again.
Make everything Trump again. It's that kind of Friday. What is it? Is it just because everybody's excited about the fact that it's Halloween this weekend and everybody? Okay, good. So we'll call it make everything Trump again. That's what Meta stands for.
If we all refer to it and keep referring to it as that, it's going to piss him off.
Yeah.
And he spent all that money to rebrand to that name, and he's going to have to change it.
All right. Well, I like your thinking there. All right. And where are you exactly in Michigan, Steve? Where are you?
Kalamazoo area.
Kalamazoo area. All right. We love Kalamazoo. I can't spell it, so don't ask me to send you an email. Okay. Thanks for the call.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for the call, Steve. I appreciate it. Oh, look at this. Live from Bushwood in the Links, everybody. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Oh.
Live from the Links, everybody. It is Carl over at Bushwood taking care of the greens. Good morning, Carl.
Morning, Andrew. Famous song. I had a dog named Jake and a cat named Kalamazoo.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, good.
That was a famous song back in the day.
Yeah.
Things are, it's Friday. It's Jake Day. Things are crazy here at the maintenance building,
Yeah, well, I don't know. What's going on with the maintenance building today? What are you talking to the friends about?
First thing we did, we took a vote, between Felipe and actually it was Mateo's idea. We figured if we're going to have, a date with a mandate, if you will, it's going to be you, Drew. You're our mandate because we can listen to you. You're quite entertaining with the music and all, and we want to hang with you. So
okay, well, I appreciate that. You had a thought on the metaverse. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this metaverse, it's kind of tough. How am I going to mow that virtual grass? I don't quite get the smell.
That's true.
I can't smell my Malorganite, and I met a gopher. I met a gopher once.
Yeah.
I let you figure that one out there. So there we go. So
okay,
but that's it. I mean, I can't mow that virtual grass. That's not going to work for me.
All right, very good. All right, Carl from Bushwood, give me some tips here.
Well,
what?
Oh yeah, I got some good advice for you. Drew. It is that time of year. You could end up, at a rally by chance. Shaking hands with Sleepy Joe, and God knows what he's got on them hands. So this is it. This is the time of year you should change your grips, on your clubs, because you could have touched a liberal. So you want to get that goo off there so you can keep it in the fairway.
Very nice. All right, keep it in the short grass.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Drew. You too. Talk to you later, my friend.
There he goes. All right, it's Carl from Bushwood. I'm beating him to the punch now. You can tell it's he calls often. All right, 239-479-5592. So we don't care about the metaverse. We care about the Biden building back beautifully better, unless it's a bungle of bureaucratic botulism. It's all I've got. That's all I got. So anyway, what we say about that? Can we play a little bit of Joe Biden audio from yesterday? There was going to be a vote, and then there's not a vote, and Pelosi is like, we got to do this. We got a framework, and we're going to vote on this. We're going to hold a vote. And no, hold a vote, because now you got all the progressives that are like, listen, I'm not voting for anything unless you give us everything that we want, and they are holding their ground, and so now that's been pulled, and when does the Build Back Better, the actual vote, when are we going to do this? We'll talk more in detail on that coming up, and what's in it and the things you should be worried about coming up at 7:05 with the Heritage Foundation, and we're going to get into those details. But I just wanted to play a little bit of audio from what Joe Biden said yesterday as he's trying to make the case that this is something that the American people want. Now, mind you that Joe Biden is not really sure what gooey substance is stuck to his chin today, so it's not like he's going to be able to articulate to the American people exactly why we should be voting for something, because they won't go into the specifics. They won't go into the nasty. They won't go into some of the things that we are finding out about. What are some of the odd things that we are discovering? We're finding out that there's lots of money that's being spent in places that we didn't know that there was going to be money spent. I was under the impression, where did I find this? Is this, let me just, here it is. Matt Gaetz wanted to let everybody know through his Twitter account that he's been kind of looking over the gajillion pages or whatever it is out there. Look at this. Speaker Pelosi's bill includes $2.25 billion for the climate police to be used for staffing, salaries, and other workforce needs to support the development of a civilian climate corps. A civilian climate corps. Okay, so lots of, you didn't know that was in there, but Joe Biden's not going to talk about that. Here's what he is going to talk about. Here's the biggest truth that Joe Biden may have told about the Build Back Better botulism plan.
I know how deeply people feel about the things that they fight for. But this framework includes historic investments in our nation and in our people. Any single element of this framework would fundamentally be viewed as a fundamental change in America. Taken together, they're truly consequential.
It's truly consequential, fundamental. You can use all the words you want. Basically, if you're thinking, how can I destroy this country from within? There it is. So he's admitting to that. What else did he talk about yesterday?
We used to lead the world in educational achievement. Now the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development ranks America 35th out of the 37 major countries when it comes to investing in early childhood education and care.
Early childhood education and care. We rank 36th on the list in early childhood education and care. So is that to suggest that we need to have a taxpayer, your dollars paid for pre-K like we talked about yesterday? And how is that such a bad thing? Because the evidence is proven. The Wall Street Journal did an opinion piece yesterday where they showed the evidence, the data, the science, the things that Marxist Democrats love to talk about. And that would show that, at age 3 to 4, if you're putting a child in a pre-K plan, yes, they will be ready a year later better than somebody who wasn't in it. But in the long term, they fall behind. It is detrimental. And one of the big reasons why it's detrimental is very simple. And it may not be simple for liberals, but I'm going to make it simple for them now. It's because the 3 to 4 year olds are not sitting there looking to learn the way you're describing it. They don't want to be, quote unquote, educated the way you're trying to. Indoctrination, let's just put it that way, that these are crucial times for them to be with, what do we call them again? Parents! They're parents. They should be with their family and spending quality time with them and doing things with their family. They don't need to be in a but you don't understand, Drew, I gotta work, and so this is great. It's free child care. That's what they're doing. They're looking for you to put your child into free child care run by the government that is going to indoctrinate these children and take them away from you. Don't you see the sinister plan that has been in place for the longest time so that the family will go out and work, and they're going to have to work. And listen, the way inflation is and prices are going right now and the way things are with gasoline prices, you need 2 jobs in order to even survive right now. And what better way to help you to survive than to give your kids to the government so they'll take care of them for you so that you can pursue the money that you need, not the dreams that you've thought about in the past, but the money you need to survive. And we'll take your children, and it's free because, well, it's not really free. You're paying for it, but it's free. And then we'll also educate them on the way. So everything is good, right? No, everything is not good. Everything is not good. But that's what the plan is. And Joe Biden's trying to sell this, and that's how you sell it. It's interesting, and we've got to take a break, but it's interesting how they do this when you really understand what's going on. Isn't it amazing when you see it before your eyes and something is shown to you that you get such an interesting perspective on things? The government destroys, and then in order to have you latch onto whatever scheme, plan they have in mind, they come back to you and say, we can get you out of this void you're in. We can help you to lift you up out of this place that we created. All you have to do is sign on the dotted line and we'll save you. They created this mess. And now they want to convince you that the way to get out of this mess is to sign off on a bigger mess, a fundamentally changing mess, to save the day. There's more audio we'll get to later on, and we'll talk more in detail about what is the problem with this reconciliation infrastructure / All of it, all the trillions, all the building back better, or whatever you want to call it. Coming up in just a minute. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, truesteel.com, the website. Steel as 3 E's. We appreciate you watching. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Therese O'Shea.
Good Friday morning. We have a crash causing westbound backups along Daniels Parkway in Fort Myers, right at Jetport Commerce Parkway. Near Treeline Avenue, approaching I-75 is where you'll see those westbound delays because of the crash with injuries. Also dealing with a crash on Immokalee Road and 41 in North Naples. Another down Immokalee at Randall Boulevard, causing some eastbound backups off Wilson Boulevard. Check out some delays along 75 heading through the Corkscrew Road exit right now and approaching Bonita Beach Road southbound. Just a little bit in the way of volume building up out there. And the roads are slick, so just take it slow. Give yourself plenty of extra time on the morning commute. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Friday. Behind yesterday's cold front will be less humid today and slightly cooler with highs in the middle 80s. It will still be windy behind that front. Winds picking up out of the west at 15 to 25 miles per hour for this afternoon, with gusts of up to and over 30 miles per hour. A few showers as we head into this afternoon and into this evening. Temperatures cooling to 68 to kick off your Saturday, with some isolated rain in the forecast for tomorrow. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Window World is a family-owned business, and we really mean family. And with a family-owned business, you get a business that is looking to treat everyone right. We live in this community.
choose from. Also, if you find a diamond or style on the internet, bring in a picture and we will get it or make it exactly to your specifications. And our prices and quality will exceed your expectations. I personally guarantee it. At Duncan's Diamonds, we will not be undersold by anyone, anywhere, or any place, and you can count on it. Come in and see us in Fort Myers on US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, and in Naples at the Mercado Shopping Center.
Want to work with the best pros in the HVAC industry? You just might be a match for our team. 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating is seeking trustworthy, friendly individuals who want a rewarding career helping people. With industry-leading salaries, benefits, and growth potential, we also provide ongoing training and professional development. Join our team. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
An equal opportunity employer.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. That's the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele S3Es. You can watch there. And you can subscribe to the podcast as well. We appreciate you doing that. Just type in Drew Steele at any of your favorite the search engine locations. So the president said it yesterday as he's trying to sell back the Build Back Better bankruptcy debacle. However you want to phrase it, here's what he said.
I know how deeply people feel about the things that they fight for. But this framework includes historic investments in our nation and in our people. Any single element of this framework would fundamentally be viewed as a fundamental change in America. Taken together, they're truly consequential.
It's so awful. It's almost like it's so bad that he can't even get the words out of his mouth. Fundamentally transforming, and it's just an investment. That's all it is. We just need to invest. I got questions about investing and other things. Joel Griffith is joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. He's a research fellow, financial regulations at the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. Fantastic website, great resource. And we appreciate Joel being on the program with us this morning. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
So you heard a little bit of that audio of Joe Biden and the investments and the fundamental transformation and all of these things. Boy, there's a lot of investment going on here in ways that I'm not sure that they understand. Maybe touch on this for a minute. The Build Back Better plan, this whole plan in general, some of the awful things, some of the bad things, maybe the things that you're recognizing and seeing and talking to people about that people should really be concerned with.
Oh, we really should be. I mean, instead of Build Back Better, this should really be Build Back Bolshevik. Because if you look at this plan, it's all about a radical transformation of the American economy. And you look at all the problems we're dealing with now, the higher prices, the problems with our supply chain, higher energy costs. These are all problems that have actually been caused by misguided left-wing government policies, and now they're proposing a solution that wouldn't resolve it. It would actually put us down the road to becoming a giant, centrally planned economy. And that's been the long-term mission of the left for decades. And they're using COVID and they're using all the disruptions that we've seen as an excuse to finally implement this radical left-wing agenda.
Yeah, and it is interesting to me. A couple of things. Number one, they don't argue the point. Nobody says no. We're not Bolshevik-like. We're not progressive-like. We're not doing things to fundamental. They say it. They admit it. And especially when you have someone like Representative Jayapal, who yesterday she was the one, I guess, and the other progressives who said, yeah, we're not doing this. We're not doing all of this together unless you give us what we want. So they're admitting what they want. And it really is that bad, right? The fundamental transformation in ways that we've talked about so many times. But things like paid family leave and the college, free community college and the pre-K, and that's just touching the surface.
Oh, yeah. Well, the biggest component of this is $1 trillion, nearly $1 trillion to implement a big part of the Green New Deal. And remember, the Green New Deal, they talk about how it'll create jobs. Well, number one, get the government out of the way, and we'll see unemployment go back down to record lows that we saw just about a year and a half ago. But more importantly, this this Green New Deal makeover, that's going to make energy costs more expensive. The Heritage Foundation, we've estimated it'll cost a typical family $8,000 to $10,000 per year. But in addition to all the costs that families are going to experience as energy becomes more expensive, that's also a big problem for manufacturing, because manufacturing relies on affordable, abundant, consistent fuels. And we've been fortunate in this country over the last 20 years to develop our natural gas and oil industry, and we saw energy costs come down. We became energy independent. But the left doesn't like that. The whole goal of the left is not to produce more prosperity. It's to get humankind under control, because humankind is viewed as a parasite on the planet. So this implements a big part of that Green New Deal. It puts in place the building blocks of universal basic income. And we just saw the other day with the proposal to tax unrealized capital gain or unrealized income. That's pretty much a wealth tax, and that's the goal as well. Massive wealth confiscation and redistribution.
Yeah, maybe explain to people a little bit about that, because sometimes that can be confusing. This unrealized gains. When that is being said, what's the one thing that flashes right away when you hear unrealized gains for the wealthy?
Well, the first thing that flashes really that this is a wealth tax. The people on the left, they want to find a way for the government to be able to take a portion, not just of your income, which is constitutional. Taxing income is constitutional, but to tax your actual private property, that is unconstitutional for the federal government to do so. So let's say you have an investment of $10,000, and on paper it goes up to $15,000, which happens with stocks all the time. They want to be able to come in there and take a percentage of that. Even if you haven't cashed out, you still have the transaction. That's a tax on wealth. And of course, they say we're just going to do this on billionaires to start. Well, that's a problem, because that'll actually deter investment. But once they have that tool to tax the billionaires, well, now they can use that tool to tax the millionaires, and then they can use the tool to tax just regular folks.
Right.
They did this with the income tax back in over 100 years ago, right? It only affected the top 1% initially, and then over time, nearly all of us now have to pay.
Yeah, I think that, Joel, is something that is fascinating to me, in a couple of different ways. Number one, when you think about and you go back to this initial idea of the system of taxation that we have, that was the whole impetus of it, right? Was it's just going to be the wealthy that are going to be taxed, and ultimately it came right down to everybody first. And then second, let me ask you this, because I've talked to my friends about this, and I remember, I'm going to go way back. I actually have to play the way back flashback. Here we go. I'm going way back, Joel, to 2012, when we had a Republican National Convention and there was a debt clock on the wall. Remember the debt clock? And people were worried about financial responsibility. And we used to talk about those things, which now it's like ridiculous. You can't talk about it anymore. I don't know why. I'm going to continue to talk about being fiscally responsible, because it drives me crazy that people don't want to talk about it, even Republicans. But there you have a debt clock. And I remember it was really simple at the time when everybody was making the argument that even if you were to take and confiscate every billionaire or millionaire, the millionaire tax, and everybody was saying all these millionaires, and you were to confiscate all their money and all the taxes that they pay, it still would not be enough to make a dent. I mean, is that still kind of the same thing when they talk about the idea that we're going to get all this money, this tax from the wealthy? It's the wealthy that's going to pay for it. But that narrative was destroyed a long time ago, but yet it still keeps coming back.
Oh, yeah. Well, during the presidential campaign this last time around in 2020, we at the Heritage added up all the proposals of the left for all the spending, universal basic income, nationalized health care, et cetera. And we thought, well, what if we take every single dollar of those that are making $250,000 plus a year, but from dollar one, every dollar confiscated, and we added up the numbers, and it turns out, even confiscating every single dollar worth of income does not pay for all of these promises. But the intent has never been to repay this debt. I mean, that $30 trillion, it's not just that that's impacting future generations. It's impacting us now. That $30 trillion that we owe, that represents wealth that has been borrowed, wealth that could have been invested in the private sector, but instead has been squandered by government, and we're suffering longer term from slower economic growth than we experienced 100 years ago. Yeah. Second of all, though, going forward, look at how we have financed all deficit spending this last year and a half. We've had our Federal Reserve gobble up, print hundreds of billions of dollars, buy government bonds, the government spent it. Part of the reason why we've seen inflation accelerate, part of the reason is because we've had our Federal Reserve on financing this deficit spending. That's likely to continue, especially if this new plan passes, and that is going to squeeze regular folks. Regular folks that the government distributes money to. Everybody loves getting a few $1,000s in their checking accounts, but no one likes paying an extra $8,000 to $10,000 per year in living costs. That's what you have to look forward to when you have a Federal Reserve financing this debt, and that's what the plan calls for.
Yeah, and I think there's that other dirty little secret that people don't like to discuss, and maybe we can touch on this before we go, and it's this. When we talk about inflation and what is happening, we talk about how you traditionally stop inflation from running away from us. There are traditional ways of doing that, interest rates. Boy, you can't really go there because it's like it's a poison pill one way or the other. Which one do you do? And how do you get out of this? Because you can't really raise the rates because then you're looking at everything from credit cards to mortgages to everything that we're starting to see. And you can't imagine putting that on the American people now. So how do you even spin out of this cycle? Like, I don't even know where we go. Like, fundamentally, where do we begin?
Yeah, well, over time, ever since we've had our central bank established, what happens is you end up with these cycles of economic contraction, which wreaks economic havoc with higher unemployment first threats to higher prices. We get the prices under control between the economy, traders, and then more importantly, beyond the fact that we realize this increase in prices, this really bad monetary policy by the Fed that's fueled in large part because of the deficit spending will also mean that these distorted price signals. The most important price in the economy is the price of money. What does it cost to borrow money? It's how businesses decide where to invest. It's how producers decide what to produce. When you distort those signals, you end up with all this economic inefficiency, and you have basically an economic hangover. And when it's economic inefficiency, that means you're not actually producing what consumers would have wanted. It means our standard of living overall is decreasing. It's hard to get our arms around that, but I think we're getting a taste of it now with our empty shelves, with the higher prices, and of course, like you mentioned, housing. That's a direct result too of our central government policies on easy money and buying up mortgage bonds. Now families are being priced out of the marketplace.
Yeah,
government is at fault.
Yeah, I wish there was a way we can end this segment with something positive. Joel's a super guy. That's all I've got. I mean, I don't even know where we go. What are you going to do for Halloween? I don't know what you're going to wear a costume.
Well, I do have a positive note in 10 seconds. I think that a positive right now is that people are connecting the dots for the first time in a long time. Just conversations that come up in my regular life. People are actually talking about, prices and housing and spending and government regulation. People are realizing that what's to blame is actually those government officials that are saying they want to solve your problem.
Yeah, but the fiscally conservative that I am and how I've cared about this for so long, it's like pulling your hair out. I hate that it had to come to this for people to actually have the discussion as opposed to we could have done something. We could have been proactive instead of reactive, and here we are in this situation. But it's where we are. All right. Joel Griffith joining us on Daybreak 92.5, Fox News Research Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. We appreciate a few minutes of your time, sir. All the best. Have a great weekend.
Hey, thank you. You too.
Yeah, it's the positive. Again, go ahead. We can go to break, Jake, and it's what he said. I hate that it comes down to look at inflation, look at what's happening with supply chain, look at what's happening with interest rates, but soon that's going to be an issue. Can't be like this forever. And all the fuel prices and the like, and at least we're having the conversation. Well, I wish it didn't have to be in this predicament to do it, but that's where we are. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic, here is Teresa O'Shea.
Good morning. Some problems around Daniels Parkway in Fort Myers. A crash going on Daniels Parkway eastbound right near the exit off I-75 northbound, which is exit 131. So watch out for some delays in that area on the off-ramp especially. We also have a crash we're watching on Daniels at Jetport Commerce Parkway, which is just east of the interstate. Westbound blocking a left-hand lane coming off Treeline Avenue and heading toward I-75. Crash also heading through the Tice area, not too far from Tice Elementary School on Ortiz Avenue at Glenwood Avenue with some southbound delays. Keeping an eye on a crash in Collier County at Immokalee Road and Randall Boulevard. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Friday. Behind yesterday's cold front will be less humid today and slightly cooler with highs in the middle 80s. It will still be windy behind that front. Winds picking up out of the west at 15 to 25 miles per hour for this afternoon, with gusts of up to and over 30 miles per hour. A few showers as we head into this afternoon and into this evening. Temperatures cooling to 68 to kick off your Saturday, with some isolated rain in the forecast for tomorrow. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Joe Biden's plan for America? Recycled leftovers. Time for some right thinking. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Sales desk, Marty speaking.
Marty.
What?
They've all gone mad.
Who?
Victory Lane Chevrolet.
Where?
On the corner of Fowler and Winkler.
How?
During Moonlight Madness, Victory Lane's paying overbook value for trades, giving crazy discounts on new Chevys, and they don't scare customers away with insane high-pressure sales tactics.
Why? Why would they do that?
Because, Marty, you do. It's Moonlight Madness at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Get over book value for your trade and save thousands on new Chevys. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on select new Chevys. And current Costco members receive an additional $1,000 off MSRP on most new Chevys in stock. And your credit pass can't haunt you anymore with our goal 100% credit approval. Don't miss Moonlight Madness at Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com.
0% equals $13.89 per thousand finance with approved credit on select models. All rebates to dealer cannot combine offers. Costco members must provide proof of membership. Expires 10/31/21.
When Truly Nolan is on the chase, what do you know? You know they're faster than a speeding cockroach, able to leap into spaces where only spiders hide. You know they're smarter than conniving ants and more nimble than a swarm of mosquitoes. You know whatever they're after, they'll get the job done right. Because when Truly Nolan is in hot pursuit, you know there's no escape. Schedule your free estimate today and get $50 off pest control by going to trulynolan.com or call us at 800-GO-TRULY.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
The right place for local talk. Drew now. Trey for the drive at 5. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Wait a minute, are they really doing this? Okay, so I just want to get this straight. The World Series is taking place in Atlanta. The politically correct social justice warriors have already pressured two major sports franchises into changing their allegedly racist nicknames because they want to right, quote, the wrongs committed against Native peoples. And now they're after the Atlanta Braves. Well, you knew it was going to be, it wouldn't be long. This is from Newsbusters. So, look, you know what was going to happen. I guess they're talking about the tomahawk chop. The Native American community in that region is wholly supportive of the Braves program, including the tomahawk chop. But even though there are people who are okay with it, I guess there's someone who is not happy with this. And so they're now saying they got to get rid of the tomahawk chop because it's not politically correct in a city that is in a state that is a racist state that was to the point where and racist and with all the election fraud, no, not election fraud, but the election issues and all the things that they're doing in Georgia. So they had to take the All-Star game out to move it to Colorado because of the way the state is. But now they have the All-Star game in there, and it's okay to have the All-Star game because I don't know. I can't keep track of all of this. Can anybody 239-479-5592? Can anybody keep track of what's going on here? Like how do we do this? Like, well, I know how we do it. We just kind of we don't let it happen. And I got to tell you, if you're not willing to stand up and not watch, then it's going to continue to happen. Does that make sense?
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Hello, I'm Brian Resney, president of Resney.
4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and get ready because it's time once again. Next Friday, Oaks Farm Seed to Table. We do our first Friday live broadcast, and we love being out there and love seeing you there for the show, 6 to 9 a.m. They open up an hour earlier so that you can come in and enjoy some great breakfast and so much more. Maybe do some shopping while you're there as well. And you know how awesome Seed to Table is and what a great place it is to shop. We hope to see you there. Oaks Farm Seed to Table, our first Friday broadcast, 6 to 9 a.m. at the corner of Immokalee and Livingston Road in Naples. Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. When you hear air conditioning companies bragging about their certified technicians, they're not actually telling you the truth. What they really mean is they have EPA certifications just to work with Freon, which is required. The only recognized certification in this industry for air conditioning is the NATE certification. And unless they're certified, they're not. If they don't have it, it's because they couldn't pass the test. If you want the best, you call Kobe Cooling, because our team is NATE certified. At 239-482-1542, we won't mislead you with false claims about their credentials. Their NATE certification is on their ID. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949, locally owned and operated.
Seems like everything is overpriced these days, right? It's called market inflation. Hey, Aaron Walker here at Naples Nissan with some suggestions to help you take some air out of that inflation. Current gas prices? Ouch. Regular service checkups and maintenance will help you get better gas mileage. Get a free 20-minute checkup at Naples Nissan. All makes and models are welcome. Plus, get our $99 Inflation Fighter Alignment Special. Naples Nissan rents cars. Choose from over 100 rentals with rates starting at just $49 per day. Or get our Inflation Fighter Rental Special and pay just $9.99 for an entire month. And of course, you can still get the original base MSRP for your trade-in. If it's a 2013 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, then whatever it was worth when it was brand new, that's exactly what it will be worth right now. But only at Naples Nissan. Come see us on Pine Ridge Road or visit naplesnissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined. See dealer for details.
Have you heard them yet? Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, today at noon, right after Glenn Beck. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
All right, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. Hey, we got a lot to talk about right now. So here's what's happening. Number one, coming up in 10 more minutes, Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. So that's coming up in 10 minutes. So I want you to get ready to play. We'll have some fun with that. Second thing is, it's going to be hard to believe what I'm about to tell you is true, but yes, it is happening. And if you look at your watch, if you look at the calendar, if you look at Jake, who looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, that is his costume today. There's a lot of people in the newsroom that are all dressed up. I'm passing people and I'm like, what are you? What are you supposed to be? Who are you? I don't even know. It's like, it's creepy. And well, some of them are. What? Why are you looking?
I just dropped the ball earlier whenever I was talking about the people I've seen, so I'm going to keep it to myself.
Okay, yeah, you keep that to yourself. Look, it's Jake Day, it's people, but there's something else that's going on. If you look at the calendar, guess what time of year it is, everybody? I know it seems early, but it is time for 10,000 for the troops. It's time to get ready because we are starting that next week, Monday. We start. 10,000 for the troops, getting those Christmas cards with a warm message inside for men and women serving overseas. Oh, no, we haven't forgot about them. And we haven't forgot about you and how you have been so responsive with this for the years that we've been doing it. And it is, it's an awesome time of the year. And I know that there are a lot of schools and there are a lot of organizations, businesses who have been reaching out, wondering when we're going to start. Officially, Monday, it starts. So get ready, get your cards together. start getting your groups together, start talking to them. Because starting on Monday, you're going to have the opportunity to get them out. And I wanted to get a little jump on this. I kind of hinted at it at the beginning of the week, but yes, it is Monday. We officially start. So get ready for 10,000 for the troops. It is that time again. We are going to get, and I believe this year we can break records. I think we could, should I even say it? I really honestly think that we can hit 100,000 this year. I mean, we've been so close. We've been in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s consistently. And I really think that we can make this bigger and better than ever. And so we've got to get an early start, get a head start. And so Monday, believe it or not, it is that time of year. 10,000 for the troops. So get your cards ready, those Christmas cards, and we'll begin to fill them out and get your groups together. All right. 239-479-5592. Hold on a second. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
A bombshell. This not just in. Just to let you know that here in the state of Florida, we continue to be the lowest per capita rate of any state in the country when it comes to COVID cases. And I know you're not going to hear that anyplace else. So technically it is breaking news because it's breaking news for the media who even locally and statewide and nationally refuse to continue to talk about this because it goes against the narrative, the evil, the awful. We need some evil and awful. There you go. Okay. The evil and awful Governor Ron DeSantis. He's terrible. He's awful. You know what he's done to the state of Florida. It's just unbelievable what he has done. Wait. It's weird. Nobody's talking. In July, everybody was talking about COVID cases. COVID cases. I can't believe it. Florida, daily COVID cases. This is an outrage. This is unbelievable. Look at what Ron DeSantis, Death Santis. Look at what he's done. And now all of a sudden, nobody wants to talk about it. Okay, yeah. By the way, speaking of people that nobody's talking about or nobody really wants to talk about, but for some reason believe are relevant in the conversation when it comes to this state, there's somebody in the state of Florida who has decided that they would be a perfect candidate to run for office. And if I can find this story, here it is. Look at this. Are you ready for this? This is beautiful. Hold on. Sorry. Remember Rebecca Jones? How many people remember Rebecca Jones? Yeah, the dashboard manager at the Florida Department of Health. Risk career and reputation. She put herself out there on the front line. She had to go after Governor Ron DeSantis. She was the whistleblower who was going to bring down this administration. No, I can't even really do it. But yeah, she didn't really save America or the state or anybody from Ron DeSantis. She was exposed. She was changing COVID data at the FDOH. It was, this is what she claimed, that she had to change all the data because it had to be favorable for as the great Kara Davis at Red State was putting it, the Dark Lord of the Sunshine State. She was mercilessly fired for her noble efforts. Nope. That's not what happened. The Democrats were telling that story, but you remember she locked her bosses out of the FDOH data dashboards, and then she shared dishonest representations of the data with the media and without permission. And then when she was confronted and eventually fired, she went to a media desperate for any bad DeSantis news and spun a story about being let go for refusing to manipulate COVID data on behalf of FDOH to make it look like the deaths and infections were much lower than being reported. In reality, she was fired for refusing to stop manipulating data to the press. So what do you do in this case if you're somebody like that? You run for office. she's running for office. That's what you do. So she's going to be running for Congress, right? But where's she running? Where's she running? Is she running? She's not running against Matt Gaetz, is she? Yeah, so anyway, she's running for office. Do we have audio on that?
In our politics lead, a race to watch in next year's midterm elections, Florida's first congressional district. It's right there among the Alabama border. It has been solidly red since 1992. Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz holds the seat. He is, of course, now facing potential legal troubles and a challenger who made her name defying the law herself, Rebecca Jones.
Okay, there you go. Rebecca Jones. Yeah, she's running against Matt Gaetz. All right. Listen, I'm half laughing because, well, I'm confidently wholly laughing at this. But the thing is, you never know in politics when people are running for office. And when you think it's funny, you just got to be careful. But yeah, she's running against Matt Gaetz. So there's that. What other Florida news is there? We'll get to some more Florida news. Matt Caldwell's going to join us at 8:05 because we're going to dig into some really, really, really big stories that are happening here in the state that maybe are not getting the kind of attention that they deserve. They have to do with what the governor has been talking about with some vaccine mandates and more, and a very provocative question that has to be answered. And I'm trying to see where that story is. The public school system constitutional? I know it's very provocative. Is the public school system constitutional? The Wall Street Journal had the story, but we're going to dig in with Matt Caldwell coming up at 8:05. But some more Florida stories. Hey, it would be really strange. It would be really weird and odd if an elementary school decided that they were going to take time away from teaching and reading and, all of that good stuff, and instead go to a chaperoned event at a gay bar. Would that be weird for anybody? It's
breaking news.
A bombshell. Hey, this just in. That's exactly what happened in the state of Florida. Wilton Manors Elementary School in Broward County decided that we got to take a break from all the hard work of reading, writing, and arithmetic, and instead, let's go to a gay bar in the city. That's exactly what they did. And as a matter of fact, the school board member, Sarah Leonardi, was so honored to be invited to chaperone the field trip to Rosie's. The students and I had a fun walk and learned a lot about our community. A huge thank you to the bar for hosting this special field trip. Every year they've been doing. And some of the bar menu names for dishes like, you know what? I can't even repeat on the air some of the names of the dishes that they serve at this bar because they're, questionable at best. And we're a family show. Now, you may say, well, hold on a second. You're not suggesting that this is bad because it's a gay bar and that there aren't those that exist. And are you suggesting, Drew, that we shouldn't have? No. I think you're missing maybe the broader point. Can I just make this broader point and keep, the idea that somebody would have a difference of opinion when it comes to what you think with regard to men and women and sexual orientation and like, can we put that aside for a second? Who takes elementary kids to a bar for a field trip? I'm just. Am I wrong, Jake? Am I missing something here? Because that's a big part of the story. Is that field trippable? Like, have we established that? No, seriously. Have we established that there are things when it comes to elementary school that are just not field trippable? Bars.
Well, they do say that the parents shouldn't have any say in what their kids
Yeah,
are
well,
taught.
listen, if you're not, that's the thing. If you don't have a say, then you don't have a say in this either, and you don't have to worry about it. So, okay. But the school board thinks it's a great thing. Now, if they're going and they're taking elementary age kids to this bar on a field trip that just happens to be a gay bar, and they're saying that they're learning a lot about the community, I think you could probably infer, if you will, the reason why they're there and they're going. That's just me. I'm just putting that out there. Maybe I'm wrong, but again, if you put all of that aside, how's a bar field trippable? I might even make the suggestion that if it was a historic bar in your community, you could talk about it in the classroom without actually leaving the classroom and showing up there, Oh, but stop, Drew. What kind of a prude are you? How dare you say that? I mean, kids go into bars all the time, and restaurants have bars. And what are you talking about? Are you suggesting that they can't go into their favorite restaurant now because it sells liquor? No. That's not what I'm talking about. And that's not what we're talking about here. It's quite a different thing. I shouldn't have to explain that to you, so I'm not gonna. All right, so there's that story. Okay. Hey, speaking of parent outrage, here's something fun. Why do we do this? And when did we start doing this? I saw this in the New York Post. Jennifer Green doesn't want her 12-year-old daughter, Madeline, to feel pressured into looking picture perfect. So when the Maryland mom opened the 7th grader's school picture package from photography company Lifetouch and saw it, urged parents to lay out an extra $12 for portrait retouching services, including teeth whitening, skin tone evening, and blemish removal, she freaked. So they took the daughter's picture, retouched it, and took out her freckles. And it was a Florida mom last year that had the same thing. A 10-year-old who had the freckles removed from their face. Is this a thing? Am I missing something? Jake, am I missing something? Is this new, or do we do this here in Southwest Florida? I don't know. Maybe somebody knows. 239-479-5592. Do we, on your yearbook picture, like there's a place where you can have them retouch the picture so they could like take out frown lines or freckles or change the pigment of your hair? Or do they do that? Is that a thing?
Never did it when I was in school.
Well, no. Well, the technology didn't. Well, at least in my time, the technology didn't exist. I'm just, I don't know. Forgive me, but it just seems to me that that this is my child in 6th grade, and this is what they look like. Isn't it wonderful how they look now? It's just a moment. It's a snapshot in time. I don't know. There's people calling, so maybe somebody can tell me whether or not this is happening. But in this world of social media and the pressure from places like Facebook, I mean Meta, we got to get it right because it's not Facebook anymore, Instagram and the like. With all the pressures, now we're putting pressure on kids and their yearbook photos. That's a thing. I had no idea that that's a thing. So I don't know. Maybe you can tell me if that is a thing. All right, let's not do that. 239-479-5592. Again, maybe there's some things we can not do. Story that we're going to keep an eye on. The narrative of a perfect 2020 election is eroding, everybody, as Wisconsin now becomes investigative ground zero. Evidence grows of election mismanagement. Yeah. Cognitively impaired nursing home residents in Wisconsin and Michigan were cynically exploited for votes? We have a news story now about this. Election integrity, everyone. We're keeping an eye on that. All right, quickly, I'll just go to one call. Mike in Fort Myers.
Hey, good morning, Drew.
Are we doing that? Are we fixing photos now in schools? Is that what we do?
Yeah, actually, that's been going on for a couple years now, which the first time I heard about it, I couldn't believe that they were doing it, but it's something that they were offering like kind of as a service, and they would consult the parents. And so, especially like some girls, like 5th grade and up, they started offering it. Like if a girl was like self-conscious about her freckles, they would say, we'll do it. But these other schools, they're doing it without consulting the parent or the child.
Correct.
And so then it's having the reverse effect, because then the kid's like, why did she remove my freckles? Like, is there something wrong? So then they're self-conscious when they didn't have a problem to begin with.
Right. This person said, they said, listen, yeah, you could do a basic retouch. If there was like a blemish, you could take the blemish off. But they removed they removed in this case the freckles and the blemishes and a couple of like it's getting out of control. It gets out, and then you have people who all of a sudden start to feel like, this person will really like it if I no, don't tell me what I would like. It's bad enough I can't go to a school board meeting. I don't need
right.
To,
yeah. Exactly. Well, then my wife and I were saying, well, how far are they going to take this if they're just, starting with blemishes and freckles?
Yeah.
How far are they going to take the airbrushing? When you do like maybe senior pictures in high school, are they going to start airbrushing, like slimming people down?
Yeah, let's not do that.
It's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, I would agree. Thanks for the call there, Mike. I appreciate it in Fort Myers. Oh, boy. Are we not going to be able to do it, Drew's College? I'm looking at the time. Do we have enough time to do it? Be honest with me, Jake. It's Jake Day. You got to be honest because you're checked out. What do you think?
You can do whatever you want. I'll figure it out.
I like your style. Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Caller number 5 right now at 239-479-5592. We'll play that next. Call right now. Caller number 5 will play Drew's College on Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along with traffic coming up in just a little bit. Teresa Shea will have it. Casey Sherman will have the forecast and more coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along.
Have lunch with Clay and Buck at noon, right after Glenn Beck at 9. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
When you run a business, setbacks change everything. And online, they happen fast. With your Comcast Business Internet, you can stay ahead. And now you can add Comcast Business Security Edge to make your network more secure. It helps keep your network safe with scans every 10 minutes. And unlike some cybersecurity options, this helps protect every device that's connected. Because when your information, your people, and your company have Security Edge, you can be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with a great offer for $35 each month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Want even more speed? Find out how to get 10 gigs for your small business. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Offer ends 11/7/21. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and 1 voice mobility customers only. Early termination fee applies. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Security Edge not included.
Southwest Florida homeowners. Home values are up and interest rates are down, which means now is a great time for a mortgage checkup. This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse. Many of you listening might have purchased or refinanced your home within the past year, so your mortgage could be the last thing on your mind. However, the real estate market has changed quite a bit in 2021, which means your home has likely increased in value. More equity in your home means there has never been a better time to get cash out for home improvements. You could also qualify for a lower mortgage rate with our no closing cost refinance loan, and for some, more equity in your home means you could eliminate mortgage insurance. Mortgage Warehouse is Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader. No points, no hidden fees, no closing cost, period. Give us a quick call today at 313-5000. That's 313-5000, mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, folks. This is Representative Bob Rommel with this week's Florida Update. Last week, Joe Biden went to a CNN town hall, and his performance was a disaster. He attacked gun rights, lied about massive spending, and blamed all his problems on President Trump. I was disgusted when Biden attacked those who believe a vaccine mandate is unconstitutional. They are right, and Biden is wrong. If the federal government can order someone to have a medical procedure, they can order anything. An optional vaccine is fine. A mandatory vaccine is tyranny. The rest of Joe Biden's America is just as scary. High inflation, worker shortages, a national security threat abroad. In Florida, conservatives lead the way. COVID is in the decline and our economy is booming. Can't wait to replace Biden and make America Florida. Florida, no income tax. Let's keep it that way. Paid by Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to let's go to Christian in Fort Myers. Hey, Christian, how are you?
Morning, Drew. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for being on. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you want a PhD or associate's degree question. Sir, starts right now. Jimmy Carter was the 39th president of the United States. That was Jimmy Carter. Who was the 40th president of the United States?
Jimmy Carter, and then it goes. I'm gonna go with Reagan.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a associate's. We'll see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. In 1790, this colony became the last of the original colonies to ratify the Constitution. Who was the last one? Was it Rhode Island, Massachusetts, or Virginia?
I think it was Virginia.
No, it was Rhode Island. All right, let's see if you get a bachelor's degree on this very question. Former United States President Bill Clinton famously played which instrument?
Bill Clinton?
Yeah. It was kind of a big deal at the time. He'd go on all the talk shows playing it.
And this is a little before my time. I'm going to go with the flute.
I don't know why that's funny. Close. It was a saxophone.
Okay.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. It's just something funny about a flute. All right. Not really. If you're one that plays one. All right. So let's see if you get a bachelor's on this very question. Who did Senator Rick Scott beat to win his Senate seat in 2018? The former senator here in the state of Florida, because it used to be Marco Rubio and this Democrat for the longest time.
Okay. Man.
Yeah, these are tough questions.
I'm only associates today. I got to flunk out.
Oh, boy. It was Bill Nelson. Remember Bill Nelson? No.
You know what? I don't. I just got down to Florida last year, though. So maybe
you should have told me that. I would have gave you non-Florida residents over the age of 45 that have not been here for longer than 6 months. But we didn't have those questions. Yeah, I'll work on it next time. All right, listen, thanks for playing, Christian. We appreciate you listening. Thanks so much. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Matt Caldwell coming up next. Lots to talk about and some state issues. Coming up, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
for any service, replacement, or repair for your peace of mind.
IslandAirFL.com. That's IslandAirefL.com. IslandAirefL.com or call 239-645-4668. That's 239-645-4668. License number CAC 057544.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com, the website, Steele S3Es. We appreciate you watching. Subscribing to the podcast. Want to let you know real quick that it is that time of year. Starting on Monday, everybody, we are excited. 10,000 for the troops. It is back. We're going to make this year bigger and better than ever before. So get ready, get your cards ready, those Christmas cards with a warm message inside for our men and women serving overseas. It is that time of year once again. Super excited about it. Again, 10,000 for the troops, and we'll have the address for you. Same as last year, but we'll have it ready for you coming up. So you'll get ready to mail them in and get them together as soon as possible, your school, your organization, your business, so that we can get them in early. Because obviously, with the shipping issues and supply chains and things, we just want to make sure that everything gets there on time, especially if they're going overseas. So we appreciate that. All right, we got to hit some Florida news. We've got Matt Caldwell, who's joining us this morning on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, because there's a couple of things that I wanted to discuss, including one question that Matt Caldwell was asking me off the air the other day from an article that he found that's very, very provocative. A provocative Matt Caldwell this morning. First of all, good morning. How are you, sir?
Always great, and excited to talk about the future of our country and the questions that do need to be answered.
Yeah, they do. All right, so first of all, the audio from Governor DeSantis from yesterday. Let's play a little bit of this. Hopefully you can hear it.
We were, of course, needing to pursue legislation through a special session, which is what we're going to do. But I also made very clear, given the nature of some of these mandates and how they raise questions about the federal government overstepping its authority, we are also going to need to pursue litigation. And so I'm happy to say today that with thanks to the Attorney General Ashley Moody's leadership, today the state of Florida has filed another lawsuit against the Biden administration. This lawsuit challenges the Biden administration's order imposing a vaccine mandate.
How about that? So the vaccine mandate issue. So we're challenging that. That is a good thing. That's leadership here.
There's no doubt about it. That is the kind of leadership that is going to be required with this administration. When you've got a president who believes in an unlimited authority, who at his core rejects the principles of the Constitution that are founded on limited powers and a scenario where the states are the leaders for most of our political decisions, the only way to protect that ultimately is to push back and push back hard. And I think the governor and the attorney general are absolutely in the right here. These are questions that should be up to each state to hammer out for itself. There's no power, no authority for the federal government to be involved at this level in your economic and health decisions. And I think if it gets a fair hearing, I'm hopeful that this is one that we will win and set a new precedent as we move forward in this in the 21st century, because it's just outrageous.
Yeah, and one thing that is clear with this governor is that when he does this, when it comes to these lawsuits, that he feels like he's going to win. Like he's very confident that he doesn't just go through with these and then all of a sudden you hear these losses there in these districts with these judges. You start to hear things like, yeah, there's going to be an injunction. Yeah, we're going to win this case. Yeah, there's going to be, and it's he's pretty confident. And I believe that he's studied this enough to know that he has the ability not only to do this, but to win these cases. And that is something that's important as well, because clearly, as he has he described it, if you go on in the audio piece, he goes on to describe the fact that if you're going to have people that are contracted with the federal government that have to mandate, how you could possibly make that connection after already having contracted with the federal government and then all of a sudden say, yeah, no, we're changing everything. No, you don't get to do that. not only that part of it, but what that does to the economy and how it's almost as if, man, if you wanted to pick out a state like Florida and really hurt it, if you're the White House, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, there's no question it's punitive because there's no way to meet the demands of these dictates. I've got a personal friend that deals with contracting and supplying goods, some of which goes to the federal government, and this new edict is going to make it impossible for them to fulfill the contracts. I mean, they've essentially said if any manufacturer has employees that aren't vaccinated, you can't provide the product to us. And so, the contractors in this case, or in the situation, they either, tell the truth, don't get the contract, or they're forced to lie to the federal government and claim something that everybody knows not to be true. It's the kind of stuff of banana republics, Drew. That's where black markets develop. That's where people just start ignoring the government. You go to Greece, nobody pays taxes there because they laugh at the government. You go to socialist countries in South America, nobody pays attention to the commercial regulation because it's all farcical. The whole economy happens in a black market. And that's the kind of economy that these decisions happening in DC are going to force Americans into. It's just not good, and I'm glad the governor's standing up and pushing back on it.
Yeah, and he's pushing back on something else when it comes to mask mandates, and it seems like now we're getting more pushback on the federal side. I saw this story, Mask Wars, out of Politico. What's this story all about?
It's just a further escalation in this fight between the Biden administration, and I just think it's hilarious to me where they think this is beneficial to them politically. They being the White House and the Democrats. So the governor has made very clear, and the legislature has backed him up on this. These school districts in Florida that continue to violate the law are going to have their funding withheld, and the Board of Education and the Commissioner of Education, Richard Corcoran, has moved forward to take those actions against these school boards, these rogue school boards in the state. Well, you've got a lot of federal money that comes in from Washington, D.C., and the White House is trying to use that as a bully club to really beat up on the state of Florida and come against us from that direction, whether it's reverse, litigating in reverse against us, which ultimately, as a constitutionalist, I don't think they've got a case. There's no justification, frankly, for education in the federal at the federal level in the Constitution. But when it really comes down to it, we're going to have to push back, make clear that education is a local decision that belongs with the states and with the local government. And if it ultimately costs us money, federal money, I think all of us that care about the Constitution and care about our kids and the ability to make our own choices need to be willing to accept. We don't want your money if what it means is we have to live in your under your dictates from on high.
Yeah, but man, doesn't that speak to it? I'm going to be provocative for a minute. Doesn't that speak to the problem at a lot of levels when it comes to things that get passed at a federal level, and you might even say at a state level if the wrong person is at the helm? I'll put that caveat in there, because when you are being funded, if a universal pre-K is signed into law and you have to have your 4-year-old in a pre-K, or you put your 4-year-old in a pre-K, who's to say that your pre-K now that is funded by the government would not be, for example, have its funding withheld if you didn't and could not show substantial gains in specific areas in the education of those kids, a la a Common Core or a la something else with regard to education, where if you don't hit a standard mark, that you will not get funding. Do you see how that works? Even on that level, how that could be really dangerous.
It's absolutely dangerous when you give the power to educate our children, and by extension to achieve that by providing all of the money. Then you've given up really control of your children's education. And in the way that public education is supposed to work, it's a small town thing. You get together with other parents, you hire the teachers, and they teach your kids, and you and your neighbors decide what your kids are learning. But after the Civil War, the country signed up en masse for this uniform application of public education across the entire country. and bought into nationwide funding through the 1970s and 80s for education initiatives. And that puts the power in those bureaucrats' hands, and it takes it out of the parents. So if you want to have control, that means we have to go back to a time, to a paradigm where we actually have control. It's our money, our local tax dollars, and it's our decision about who is educating our kids and how they're being educated, and get the feds out of this equation altogether. It doesn't scare me. Yes, it will require us to really buckle down and reevaluate our budgets in every single county and city in America. But it doesn't scare me from the principal side, because I know you're going to end up with an educational system that values what the parents want to see taught in the classroom.
Yeah, and speaking of parents and what's happening in the classroom, I'm hopeful, and I wonder, maybe just as a quick aside before we get to the next topic, is this push against the vaccine mandate that the governor talked about yesterday. I wonder if that's sort of like a shot across the bow for what could be the vaccination of our kids. Now that the FDA says 5 to 11-year-olds, yep, we've got the vaccinations. I would worry that at a state level or at a school board level that a decision might be made, or the desire for that to be made, that all kids, like in California, be vaccinated in order to be in classrooms. There is that fear, and especially not just, I'm not saying this to be a fearmonger to get people to run to the polls, not run to the polls in 22. But if you had a Democrat running the show in this state, you might see something like that. Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense. Look, this is still a competitive state, and it's going to remain a competitive state. Yes, Republicans, by and large, win the big elections when it comes down to it. But don't forget, Obama won Florida both times when he was elected as president. We have had people win statewide office, and certainly in our biggest communities in the state, Orlando, Miami, Broward. These are places where the Democrats have control over the lives of millions of our residents. And so the idea that we can just take it for granted that we are going to have great governance because Ron DeSantis is the governor right now. Hey, in 2022, that question is on the ballot. Which direction are we going to take this state? And you have to be ready as a voter to say, this is what I want, and I want to continue to fight back against big government making decisions for me and my family.
Yeah. Matt Caldwell joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Hold on, this just in.
Breaking news.
A bombshell. Florida has the lowest rate of new COVID cases per capita of all 50 states. No mandates, no vaccine passports, and I just want to make sure that's out there because nobody else is doing it. So I feel like it's my duty to have a breaking news update because clearly nobody would know this. All right, we're moving on. Two things. This one quickly. Talk about this quickly so we have enough time to really hit the other topic. After 34 years of growth, will Congress change how Florida's clean water money is figured? What is that all about?
Really straightforward. The federal government does a cost share program, a loan essentially system to the various states to advance clean water initiatives, try to get, we don't want rivers on fire. This comes from the 1970s and the kind of industrial waste we saw. Well, Florida was relatively a small state in the 1970s. And surprise, surprise, rather than draw a formula that would change with time, Florida is still getting a share of the money based on how small we were 50 years ago. And so it's really absurd that we are not in that pool and recognized as the third biggest state in the country. And certainly if we're paying in those tax dollars as the third biggest state in the country, we should get our share back when it comes to programs like this. It's not really that complicated.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. You ready? This is Matt Caldwell, the very provocative Matt Caldwell. Here we go. Is the public school system constitutional?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead.
I think the evidence leans against it being constitutional. So here, this comes from an article I read this weekend, and I mentioned to you in the Wall Street Journal on Saturday about the paradigm for public education. And it used, as we said earlier, used to be about your local community, what you and the parents around you wanted to do. And it has a dirty underbelly, this move by the big progressive left to try to become to try to control uniform education in this country. At that time, it was about overwhelmingly Catholic The majority, the people that pulled the levers of power, didn't like that, and they wanted to get the kids in a public education system where they could indoctrinate them in and I'm using air quotes, the American way as they saw it. And this is important because you just change out a religious conflict and put in what we're dealing with today on gender issues, on our civic virtues, on the question of medical freedom. It's all the same. The people at the top, particularly the progressive left that wants to control our future, is going to try to use this uniform system in order to impose their viewpoint on the world. And when the questions have been litigated at the Supreme Court level, and both state and national, it has favored the small government side, whether that was the repeal or the abolition of actual bans on Catholic education, funding of Catholic education in many states. We still have one on the books here that we've tried to repeal from the turn of the 20th century. Or you'll remember back in the 90s, litigation on whether or not people were allowed to homeschool their children, whether the state had the power, the state writ large, to force kids to always attend the public school. And the homeschool parents won that litigation. So if you take that to the next step and you start looking at the system as a whole, how it's built, if you don't have the authority under the First Amendment as a parent to say what you believe when it comes to educating your kids, is the public education system violating the Constitution and the First Amendment by continually forcing their uniform progressive view into the minds of your children every single day and taking them to school by force every single day?
Wow. I mean, that is, you might say it's provocative, but hey now, is that, I'm just trying to express my thoughts on this properly. Is that the new flag planted and movement? Like, could this be a new movement to challenge this, like seriously challenge this, to the point where maybe we could make movement on this issue? If anything, if the threat is real to a public school system that sees that this could be an issue, then that is impetus for them to maybe listen to parents for a change and not listen to teachers' unions, and maybe pull back from some of the things that they're doing out of fear that they would lose this opportunity. Does that make sense? I mean, it's another, again, being provocative. That sounds legit.
I think it absolutely is legit. And when you recognize how sacrosanct we hold our First Amendment rights to think and believe and speak in that vein to one another, and most definitely to our own family, which our kids are the fundamental essence of our family. If that's in conflict with a bureaucracy that's trying to override what you and I and every other parent believes, that's a violation of our constitutional or fundamental rights. And at the end of the day, where we need to get, and I think you and I have agreed on this for a long time, is it's not about denying children the opportunity to get an education. It's about breaking down the bureaucracy and empowering the parents. I happen to believe the voucher system, everybody gets the same amount. It's what we use for VPK in this state right now. It's what we use for scholarships to state colleges and universities. Why we can't use that in the K-12 paradigm, where you as a parent choose where to send your kid. You spend the same money that I spend and every other parent spends, but it creates competition and it destroys the bureaucracy that's trying to force every single child into the same lane.
Yeah.
And when the bureaucrats are doing that, they're going to try to achieve their goals.
Yeah, and I might make the case I shouldn't leave my wallet to begin with. It's like, let me make the choice, and if I have the money, I'll make that choice without it ever leaving. But that's a whole other subject. All right, Matt Caldwell, we got to run. Listen, I appreciate you. Thanks for some of that, those stories. Those are important ones, and we're going to reflect on that and do it again next week. All the best.
Sounds great. Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate you. Stay break 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
It's all right here at 92.5 Fox News. We've been right all along.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine
what would a Friday be? What would a Friday be if we didn't tell everybody that it is Jake Day? Jake Day, because that's what we call Friday, is Jake Day because Jake is officially checked out, so we call it Jake Day. He's usually checked out during the week, but it's official that I can't even talk to him right now. We know that's the fact. He's also dressed up today as Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. That is his costume. Everybody is costumed out in this building, so we've got that going on. And a Friday, what would a Friday be without Mike Opelka, pureopelka.com? And here he is.
It'd be boring. It would be terribly boring.
What are you trying to say? The show would be boring without you? Is that your suggestion?
No. Yes. No. Yes. I can't take my eyes off the B-roll video that the networks are playing of the Biden and Pope Francis visit, because the Pope is a nail biter. I'm looking at this, and Biden's nails, he's nicely manicured. You know, he looks like he's, as they should be. He's all about appearances, but the Pope looks like he's biting nails. He needs some help there. So.
Does it look uncomfortable? Like the conversation? I'll say, that's right. It's all B-roll because they wouldn't show everything live, right? Is that what was going on? They canceled that whole thing?
You know, the Vatican is also known as the Holy See, and today it was the Holy You Can't See.
Right.
There was nothing they would allow live. Thank you very much. Your next X is from Philly. But yeah, this is interesting, and I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. I would have hoped, but I don't think it happened. The Pope would have said, listen, stop killing the babies, okay?
Yeah. And he would have said it just like that. He would have said, listen, you and me, we got to talk.
Joey, stop killing the babies.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to make light of it, but this Pope has said that abortion is akin to hiring a hitman. And literally, he did say that. And so now you've got a meeting with the Pope, and you've got the American cardinals who are going to discuss whether or not they will deny Joe Biden the right to have communion when he goes to Mass. But I wonder if it came up. Maybe that's why we didn't see this thing live.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, we'll find out how that works, and then of course, if the Pope says no, then Joe goes back and says, "All right, I got to talk to Nancy. Let me talk to Nancy and see what Nancy says," because okay. Anyway, being Pelosi, that's what it's a
bowl of doggy do.
Yeah, okay. All right, moving on. What else we got going on? Are you keeping an eye on Building Back Better? Are you keeping an eye on all of that and some of the shenanigans going on Capitol Hill? What's that all about?
Well, this was one of the more interesting and pathetic weeks for a president that I can remember. Joe Biden was begging yesterday at the Capitol. He went to the Capitol for the second time trying to get this thing rammed through. And it didn't happen. It keeps getting smaller and smaller. The only number acceptable to me, of course, is 0.
Yeah.
But this effort yesterday, an hour-long meeting that we're now hearing, people were clapping and chanting, vote, vote, vote. And then they didn't vote. There was no vote. There was what did we get? A framework? Now what did we pass today? We passed a framework.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. And there's so much in here that really is offensive to so many normal thinking people.
Yeah.
That, I'm just hopeful that as it gets delayed and delayed and delayed, more of the awful reality of this Soviet-style makeover of the American government is going to be exposed and maybe stopped. But I don't know. They seem hell-bent on passing something just because that would mean his presidency wouldn't be a failure, not like it isn't already.
Right. I was just going to say, this is, there's a lot of things that this administration is doing where they're trying to make it look as if there are successes here. And one of them was something that we talked about yesterday night, which I don't know how you can paint this as a success if you're going to convince the American people that, yes, it is a good idea for this administration to be discussing paying illegals $450,000 each because of things that happened with kids in cages. We've got to pay what is going on with this?
Well, this reparations for illegals who came into the country illegally, and then we did actually what we're supposed to do is arrest them and then you incarcerate them or you put them in some sort of detention center. And just like it happens if a married or if a father or mother commits a crime, they're not sent home. They are usually locked up. You commit a big crime, you commit a felony, you go to jail, you go to prison. You're not allowed to bring your kids with you, and your kids have to be dealt with by a relative or sometimes the state. And you don't get reparations because you committed a crime. That's what's going on here. This is incentivizing more illegal behavior. And I just can't believe it. And you know what else is buried in this? And I don't think we've even talked about it. You know, we're paying for their lawyers, their attorneys.
We are?
Yeah. All those people who are being represented get government attorneys. All the people who come into the country who want to make a case for refugee status as well get a government paid for attorney to represent them.
This can't keep going. I mean, the thing is that the mainstream fake news legacy media is not going to talk about this. They're not going to discuss this at length. They're not going to get into the details unless there's some way that they're going to couch it as a wonderful thing and doing the right thing. It's going to be completely the opposite of what actually is happening. And that sooner or later, again, as I've discussed a lot this morning, this has to catch up, right? I mean, politically, even if you're looking at Virginia, with the discussion about what's going on there with Glenn Youngkin and Terry McAuliffe and how close the vote is, and it does mean something to us here in Southwest Florida. It does mean something on a national level. Explain why this is so important, Mike, for people to understand that it's okay to keep an eye on everything that's going on, but keep an eye out as well on what is happening in Virginia and this governor's race.
Yeah, Virginia is the canary in the coal mine in terms of what 2022 is going to be about in midterms. And I give all props to any parent who stood up and fought for their kids, whether it's Virginia. I'm seeing it in Pennsylvania in nearby school districts here as well. But Virginia, particularly Loudoun County, the site of so much horrific behavior by people and school boards, and parents standing up has changed this game because Terry McAuliffe, the guy who was a lock a month and a half ago to step in and become governor again, Terry McAuliffe is now behind in a couple of polls. Now, could that change? Yeah, because Democrats in Virginia are notorious for calling their souls to the polls. It's going to happen big time this weekend, and they're pulling out all the stops. But right now, Glenn Youngkin, on the basis of telling parents your kids are your kids and you have a hand in this, Glenn Youngkin has jumped, catapulted himself forward. And McAuliffe standing out there and saying, we don't teach critical race theory in our schools. We've never taught it. Right. And meanwhile, Loudoun County spent, I think it was $20,000 for Ibrahim Kendi to come in and give a speech about how to teach critical race theory. So this is the issue that will, I believe, catapult the conservative movement back into the limelight, the way that fiscal responsibility did for the Tea Party so much time ago. So it is about family at the center of all this. Mm-hmm. If we go back to the family unit and individual freedoms and stepping away from a huge government, I think we start winning again and winning big.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you heard about this, but Jonathan Turley put this out on his Twitter account. And let me read it to you. McAuliffe may be preparing to challenge any win by Republican Glenn Youngkin. Now, why is he saying this? He's given $53,000 to the Elias Law Group. McAuliffe doesn't appear disturbed by as Jonathan Turley put it, McAuliffe doesn't appear to be disturbed by Elias's highly controversial career or his possible exposure in the Durham investigation. How shocking is that? So he's going to bring in the Elias group, Mark Elias, who is part of everything that went down with Perkins Coie, because that's where he was, and the Russian collusion hoax and all of this in the Durham investigation. And now he's bringing in the Elias group and possibly preparing to challenge. That's why Virginia is going to get crazy.
Yeah, and it will. These are the same people who said, how dare you question the election results? How dare you? They're already out to question the election results just because they're suddenly behind in the polling.
Yeah.
And this is, wait a minute, panic. I smell panic.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, it's exactly. And my buddy Chris calls him Terry McAwful, and I think he's right.
Yeah.
And McAuliffe, who is going to replace Northam if he wins, it's just party politics. And I think we're really seeing people go, we're tired of politics as usual, the norm, the swamp. And we saw it with Trump.
Mhm.
I think that is now trickling down to a local level. And we need more good people like Glenn Youngkin to step up. And, there's even an indication that Jack Ciattarelli in New Jersey is making headway against the King Murphy in that state. So there may be a shift, a seismic shift in both of those races, the only two gubernatorial races this year.
All right. Speaking of seismic shifts,
To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta.
Okay, so it's really not a seismic shift. It's just a name shift. So as one caller said, do you really want to make Facebook now a Meta, where he described it as making everything Trump again? Very nice.
That's good.
Yeah, but anyway, so there it is. It's the very. I'm sorry, he's creepy. I'm sorry, he's creepy. It is Mark Zuckerberg who made the announcement on Meta. There.
Yeah, it was creepy then when he started Facebook. He's creepy now. Are we not allowed to talk to Jake the Millennial?
Yeah, of course
today?
we are.
Well,
I just hope that make sure you can hear him. Let's see. Can you hear him?
Okay, Jake.
Good morning, Mike.
Okay, good. Jake, define Meta. What is Meta?
Overpowered. So Meta, to me, when we say Meta, like especially when we refer to video games, because that's normally what we refer in.
Of course.
Something meta is something everyone is using, something popular.
You're wrong.
Overpowered.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
This is my argument. These people like Mark Zuckerberg and God bless him, Jake the Millennial, are using words that they don't know the meaning of.
What does
Meta means data. When someone says metadata, here's the metadata. It's data about the data. It's the analysis of the data. That's metadata.
Okay.
And, this is just this weird branding. Now, does it matter that Facebook has changed its name to Meta? No, it doesn't. Here's what they did. They want to be known as a corporation, something other than social media. So they branded themselves Meta because all the kids are using it when they see a cool video game like Jake just showed us. They go, oh, that's so meta. I played the new Call of Doom, cut the heads off of babies,
Part
10,000, and
yeah.
it is so meta. Yeah, and so meta is a word that's on all of the lips of all these kids. So Meta now owns Facebook and whatever entities that Facebook owns. So it will be like Alphabet is now the Google identity.
Yeah.
Google is part of Alphabet. It's just a corporate rebranding thing.
And by
no big deal.
And by the way, let me just say this: as the kind of creepy, not human, Mark Zuckerberg came out and started to go into this just before he went into this AI universe, and he says,
So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people.
here's an idea. If you want to connect with people, get together with them in person and connect with them. Don't do it over AI. Why do we have to go to this imaginary universe to connect with people that are sitting? It's WALL-E. It's like right out of a Disney movie. I'm sitting next to you while I'm talking to you over a screen, and you're sitting in a chair next to me. Why does it have to be like that? What is wrong with you people? Okay, anyway, sorry, that was just
it's just their own self-importance.
Yeah.
It's so funny to watch all this happen. It's a name change.
Yeah,
they're
that's it.
rebranding. That's what this is. Anybody in marketing will tell you, it's rebranding. They want a new corporate identity because you don't have the gravitas when you walk into the meeting with the bankers and you say, hi, I'm from Facebook. Oh, that thing that puts people together and grandma can send pictures. No, Facebook owns all of these other companies. Now Meta owns Facebook and I think Instagram and whomever else. It's just rebranding. Everybody needs to kind of calm down.
Okay, we got 30 seconds. Your story du jour before we leave.
The UN had a dinosaur walk down the aisles
That's
in
right.
the General Assembly.
It was a real dinosaur. It
was one of those dinosaurs you took your kid to see, where you see the guy's got a pair of tights on and he's walking around in a dinosaur costume and scaring everybody. And
can I tell you a quick story? I have to tell you a quick story about that. Really, I know Jake's he's getting upset. Really quick. So yesterday, my son is perusing TV for the 1 minute that I allow him to do it, and he's like, "What's this behind the walls or behind the something?" It's it was Leonardo DiCaprio. It was a movie about Leonardo DiCaprio when he went to the UN talking about climate change. It was called Behind the Walls or Behind the Water or Behind the Waterfall. I don't know what it was, but I saw it was DiCaprio at the UN. And he said, "What is this, Dad?" And I said, "I don't know. I could tell you what it is. Just watch the trailer. I guarantee it's going to be flash, bang, boom. We're all going to die. The planet's going to heck." And he's like, "Okay." I go into my room. I come back out. He's like, "You've watched it before." I was like, "No, why?" He's like, "That's exactly what they did." I said, "I told you, son. That's all it is. Any climate change movie, it's the same thing. The trailer is, you're all going to die. The planet's on fire. That's it." He's like, "You're brilliant." Like, yeah.
Yeah, and he flew privately to hear that. I got a 2-second quote from Biden from the meeting with the Pope.
Go.
Here it is.
"I like Legos."
Yeah, he likes Legos.
I like Legos.
Yeah, he likes Legos.
All right, I like Legos too. We got to go. All right, that is Mike Opelka. PureOpelka.com is the website, and you always love when he's here. So we bring him back, and we'll do it again next week.
Peace out.
Peace out, he said. He's
Cub Scout.
He is he is hip with the kids. We got to go. All right, have a great weekend. Enjoy whatever it is you're going to do for the thing that you dress up with.
Meta.
All right, goodbye. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
Remember to always drive on the right side of the road. Keep it here on 92.